What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by the channel. I wanted to show you guys really quickly some stuff I've been coming across, and hopefully it'll cause you to do your own research. And if anything, it'll just give you something to think about. So first, let's start with the Great American Eclipse that happened August 21st, 2017. I talked about this one a little bit in my previous video. And so this one happened in Leo the Lion, and it actually passed through 5 states: Missouri, Illinois, Tennessee, South Carolina, and North Carolina. All right, now let's fast forward 7 years later to the eclipse that is in 2024, and this one will be in Pisces. And I told you before, Pisces represented the Most High's people, northern and southern tribes, the blessings of the redeemed, right? So basically, it's known that whenever Yasharallah went into captivity or came out of captivity, this star was seen, right? Now, this eclipse is supposed to go through 5 states as well, which would be Arkansas, Indiana, Ohio, Missouri, and Illinois. Now, 5 normally represents the Most High's grace, right? You can see instances in the word where you saw 5, like even with Nebuchadnezzar's statue, the 5 empires, the basically 5 periods of the world, and so on, right? So here is the pathway of the eclipse. So this is the one in 2017, and this will be the one for 2024, right? And if you notice, they have this big X. Now, X for Roman numeral means 10. Now, X marks the spot where something is hidden. In math, X is a missing or unknown value. And in the Bible, the number 10 just means complete and perfect order. And notice it's traveling exactly through 10 states altogether, 5 for 2017 and 5 for 2024. Now, X also represents the symbol of the Most High's authority and his government on earth. Now, I was reading in this book called Codex Magica in chapter 11, and you guys can go and read that for yourself. So it's chapter 11, Cross My Heart and Hope to Die. It's called The Mysterious X Factor, page 207. X also meant to the esoteric community transformation. The mark of X is prepare them to for war. So that's why you see like now a lot of celebrities, they're putting up the X sign, and if you look on a lot of the Egyptian statues and stuff, they have like their hand like in the X, which symbolize Tammuz. But for them, esoteric, it means war. So, and also in some of their ceremonies, it's the name given in Revelation. They use a name given in Revelations 9 and 11. And I'll let you guys look that up. All right. So, what I found that was so interesting about this eclipse, about this X, is a place that it intersects. Now, it intersects in southern Illinois in a city called Cairo. Now, Cairo is also known as Little Egypt. It's in the county seat of Alexander. Let me pull up a picture and show you. So here's Cairo here, and it's in the county seat of Alexander, located at the junction of the Ohio and Mississippi River, right? So some of the cities in Alexander County would be Cairo, Carmi, Karnak, Goshen, Thebes, and Dongo. Now, Cairo is the lowest elevation in Illinois, and it's the only city that's surrounded by levees, right? Now, in 2011, the city was evacuated because the Mississippi River overflooded, and during like the 1800s, it was used as a water port. Now, Cairo was known for in 1909 for lynchings. It had a famous lynching, one of William James, and it also was considered like a high black population. But it was also had a lot of racial tension riots, and a lot of racial disturbances. So the weather there, it's humid subtropical climate. It doesn't get as cold as the rest of Illinois, but it does get cold, but not as cold. All right, so let's take a look at it. Now, what they've noticed over the years is that a lot of these towns in southern Illinois are starting to be abandoned. And so you have what some cities that's basically they're calling them like ghost cities. Like no one is there. And they're noticing this in the Midwest. A lot of these cities are going abandoned. I thought that was definitely pretty interesting. So here's Cairo, right? And Cairo was a water port during World War II. It also had like a lot of train, railroad tracks. So definitely was big in transportation. And then two, you have Shawneetown, which is also part of that Alexander County. This part is very mountainous. All right. And you guys can go back and look this stuff up, but I just wanted to show you some stuff here. And then you have Bend. They did a lot of coal mining. And then you have Buda, a railroad city. All right, now let's take a look here. This is some more pictures of Cairo. It's pretty much abandoned now. And for years, a slow moving disaster has enveloped large parts of the middle of the country. So like in the Midwest, they're noticing like a lot of these places are going like ghost town. And let's see here. Show you something else here. Also, not far from Cairo, you have like some of like one of the greatest pyramids for North America is located here, and I'll show you on the map. Mound City. So here's Cairo and here's Mound City. Let's go back. All right. There it is. So it's not far from Cairo. They're all pretty much in the same area. Now, I thought the name of this article was very interesting. It's called The Exodus, How an Illinois Town Got Caught Up in Ben Carson's Crusade Against Fair Housing. So evidently in Cairo, they had like some issues with the with HUD and how they were keeping with the projects there. So basically what the government did, instead of cleaning up the projects and fixing the things that was wrong with it, they just gave the people vouchers and asked them to leave Cairo. So they had a mass exodus. So they pretty much were getting the people out of Cairo. I thought that was really interesting. Also, let me show you something else here. There's some more information on Cairo. So this place was known for had a lot of racial tension. Also, another place in the Alexander County is this place called Garden of the Gods Recreation Area. This is also here, one of the sites. Thought that was pretty interesting. Then also in Utah, they have another park named the same, which is Garden of the Gods, and it's actually under the Zion National Park. So interesting, all these national parks. These are like secured places, protected places. Then you have Balanced Rock, which is another Garden of the Gods in Colorado. So you have one in Illinois, Utah. You have one in Colorado as well. Now, the Garden of the Gods, they're known as sacred ground and Native American crossroads. You have all this land. Now, in Matthew 5:14, it says, "You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid." So then I found this article called Ronald Reagan and the Shining City Upon a Hill. And this is when his farewell address to the nation in 1989. And I'm just going to read some parts of it. It said, "In my mind, it was a tall, brown city built on rocks stronger than oceans, windswept, God blessed, and teeming with people of all kinds living in harmony and peace. A city with free ports that hummed with commerce and creativity. And if there had to be a city walls, the walls had doors, and the doors were open to anyone with the will and the heart to get there." Now, let's look at this other part. I want to show you something else. He said, "For we must consider that we shall be as a city upon a hill, the eyes of all people all upon us, so that if we shall deal falsely with our God in this work we have undertaken, and so cause him to withdraw his present help from us, we shall be made a story and a byword through the world." I thought that was really interesting. I'm going to just leave that there for you guys and you make your own assumptions. All right. Also, one last thing I wanted to show you guys. So I saw this article too. It's called The Lebanons of America. Now, we know we always hear about Lebanon in the Middle East. And the reason why it's called Lebanon is because of the trees that they have there. And it's known for their Lebanon trees, right? And it's interesting because in the story of Gilgamesh, the cedars of God are mentioned as divine shady forests fought over by the demigods and the humans, right? And it's said that the expanse was once protected by the Mesopotamian gods, and Gilgamesh himself used cedar wood to build his great city. So then you look here at this, the Lebanons of America. Some people might think the Lebanons, you're thinking about maybe people that might be dispersed through all these different states in America. But no, these are all the places where you find the Lebanon trees. I just thought all of this was interesting. I know that in other places they have like names from Egypt and different parts of the world. But what makes this just more interesting is the fact that here you have both these eclipses intersect at one place called Cairo, Egypt. Anyway, guys, leave your comments down below. Talk with you later. Shalom.